Well, I'm Araceli. Today my YouTube video is going to be about Disney and how it affected my life. I think in one of my earlier blog posts, I talked about Tarzan being my first movie that I saw in the theaters. And so since then, there's been a lot of movies that have come out, like Mulan, Aladdin. I actually feel like Aladdin might have come out before my time. Disney has made a big impact in my life. If I ever do get to work with like movies or television shows, I would actually like to work with Disney because I'm not sure if a lot of people know this, but Disney actually owns ABC, ABC Family, and I think some other TV networks. So that would be a great deal to work with. Um, One of the movies that did make like the hugest impact in my life was actually their movie in, I believe it was like '06. It was High School Musical. That was my first obsession with movies. Troy, Gabriella, guy gets the girl, guy gets the nerdy girl, she's sporty, all that stuff. But it was actually very interesting. I remember watching it, remember the first time I watched it actually, and it was, my nephew must have been about 7 or 8, and it was his birthday party. So I didn't actually get to see the full movie, but we got home from San Antonio, and it was still on, like maybe halfway through, and so I watched it then, and then I watched it the next day, and I loved it. I actually ended up, when they had High School Musical 2 come out, I actually had a viewing party of that movie. It was a lot of girls, a lot of teenage girls there. And then when my parents, I was 7 when we moved into a new house, and we had originally had it painted pink, and it was like a Disney princess pink, and so of course, Disney princess. Well then, as I got older, my parents asked me like, "Do you want to repaint your room?" I was like, "Sure, like, yeah, let's do this." So we went to Home Depot, and they actually had like an entire section of paints that were geared about High School Musical. So for a while there, that was actually my room. And that was my room up until I think I was a freshman in high school. And then I actually, got older. But High School Musical made a very big impact in my life because that was when I first kind of like, when I get to high school, I want to be in theater. That looks like a lot of fun. And I came from a small 2A school, so we really didn't have much of a theater program, but I did still continue to try to do things with it. And of course, second movie came out, I had to watch it. Third movie, I actually think I had just gotten grounded for something, and I had a soccer game. My cousin asked my mom if I could go and watch it with her at the movie theater, because the third one was not a Disney Channel movie. It was a regular Disney movie. And my mom said no. Of course, I was upset, but then she ended up taking me like 2 days later. Um, Disney made a big impact in my life because a lot of my favorite movies are Disney movies. Um, I actually did not go to Disney World until I was a freshman in high school with my band. We went on a band trip to Disney to march through the Disney parade, and it actually it was one of the greatest experiences ever. We went to the one in Florida, and I just walked in, and I remember seeing everything, and I just remember crying. It was beautiful. I loved it. All the colors, all the shops, everything. Um, so yeah, Disney's made a big impact in my life. Now as I've gotten older, I still continue to watch the movies. Their movie Camp Rock. I must have been about in like 6th grade when that movie came out, and I remember they showed it every day for an entire week, and me and my cousin literally sat there like this at the TV every day for a week watching it. So of course, I knew all the songs. And I am now about to be 21 years old. They just came out with a new movie directed by the same director of High School Musical, Kenny Ortega. He actually directed this movie called Descendants, which is about the offspring of the villains and how they come to Auradon, which is where the prep school where the prince and princesses are, the offspring of the prince and princesses. And it's a musical as well, and it's amazing. Like, it's not I mean, it's not as good as High School Musical because, you know, that was my generation, but Descendants is this generation's High School Musical. And my little cousins are obsessed with it. They love that movie. It is the cutest thing ever. And I sat there and watched the second one as well. Um, so, yeah, you know, Disney's made a very big impact in my life. Um, some of my fondest memories are watching Disney movies, especially with my grandpa. My grandpa is illiterate, and he's also he never got to finish school. He only went to school up until fourth grade. But so I didn't have a lot of areas to where like, oh, my grandpa could read with me or my grandpa could do this with me. He drove trucks. He loves driving 18-wheelers. And some of my fondest memories are of me and him sitting there watching Mulan. That's one of his favorite Disney movies, and we'll sit there and we'll listen to I'll Make a Man Out of You, Reflection. To this day, my grandpa and I will sit there and watch that movie together. So, you know, it's brought a lot of very good, big memories to my life. So,